Hey, what's happening? Happy Sunday, everybody. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. What is happening, people? All right, you guys know I don't like to just come on here and kind of repeat a news story that you guys could read yourselves. But today I'm going to kind of do that. I'm going to add some of my own thoughts to this too. But the thing is, this story I don't think this story is going to be on the network news or anything like that. I don't think a lot of people will catch this story. And, it just happened. It's real fresh. So I love a nice, fresh, juicy news story. And this is it. Geez, I feel bad now because I got to tell you what the news story is. And I was kind of salivating there. It was the remembrance ceremony of the duo of Diamond and Silk. Diamond, Lynette Hardaway, 51, who just passed. God rest her soul. Rest in peace, even though she was a Trump supporter. She passed away in her remembrance ceremony. Her, I guess that's what you call it, was yesterday in Fayetteville, North Carolina, at the Crown Theater, I believe it's called. And Donald J. Trump himself showed up there. There's a link down. There's going to be a lot of links down below. I found these two news stories on PolitiFact and the Daily Beast, and then there's going to be a lot of there's going to be actual video footage from Twitter down below. And Donald J. Trump himself showed up, and I got to talk about some of the stuff he talked about, and his basic look of boredom and annoyance during this whole ceremony. I might as well start right there. All right, so Trump gets up and he starts talking about, how he's got a busy life back in a place called Palm Beach, Florida. And he was told that this was just going to be a 15-minute ceremony. I guess it was over 3 hours. All right. So there's not just video footage down below of him sitting there like this, looking into somebody, this woman singing. She's singing a black hymn. And it's got a lot of repeating, a lot of refrains. Is that what it's called? And she's singing, and you can see him sitting there, and he's looking off the side, and he's like this and like this. Then he gets up, and he talks about how he was told this was only going to be 15 minutes long. Unbelievable. And these people just love him. I don't get it. I thought about this. So as he gets up, and he talks about a few different things. He talks. Of course, you know what I'm going to say. He talked about how the election was stolen from him, how. And he said this. He says, how we have to stop this. When people get more votes, but they don't get elected. I don't remember that happening. I do not remember him getting more votes. I'm pretty sure that Biden got millions of more votes. So, and he says we got to stop him. And but he started talking about the southern border, and there's something there that caught my attention. He talked about how millions of felons and jailed people and people from mental institutions, countries are sending all their felons and people from jailed felons and mental institutions here, dumping them in America. And I started thinking about that, and I see the nightly news. I see random video footage of families, mothers, kids coming from gang-infested, drug-infested countries due to Americans sending money there, buying narcotics. But I never heard this story. I never saw this story where millions of felons are coming into this country. And I started thinking about this. It reminded me of a liar always thinks everybody else is lying. Back when I was using, I thought everybody else used drugs. Now that I'm clean, I assume everybody else is clean, which could be bad sometimes because I have to be careful. And I started thinking about him saying this, about felons, millions of felons, other countries dumping their mental institutions here. And I started thinking about that. I was like, that would be something he would do if he ever became president again. I could see him doing that. He's assuming that other countries would dump their jailed felons and their mental institution, mentally unstable people here, because it's probably something that he has considered or would very likely consider doing. That's the way I looked at that. Another interesting, before he came on, one of the women introduced him. He said that the Diamond, we used to talk, Diamond and Silk and me, we used to talk all the time about Diamond had a boyfriend. Oh yeah, we talked about him all the time. And his name was Donald J. Trump. And I could picture this. I could picture this. Going back to Mar-a-Lago and talking to Melania. And Melania's got probably what were they saying? What was that? What was this stuff about, you being her boyfriend? And I could imagine what he would say. Oh, come on. You think I'd ever date one of them? I actually had a friend back whom, I wouldn't call him a friend, people I used to associate with. And I used to go to after hours clubs. And he had a woman his fiance that he was living with. And I'd see him at this club every Saturday night. And he had another girlfriend that he would see at this club every Saturday night. And she was African American. And he was the kind of guy that later, when I'd see him out of the club, he was very racist. But, he was dating basically these two different women. And I could picture him going back to his girlfriend and telling her, I would never date that person. So I kind of pictured that. I kind of pictured Donald J. Trump going back to talk to Melania, and Melania kind of like, what do they mean about Diamond being her boyfriend? All right. So I think that covers it for today. The links will all be down below. I can't remember if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Oh, I'm sorry. The biggest part of this, I knew I was ending the video short. So Diamond Silk comes up, and she's talking about, now apparently there was a lot of rumors on YouTube and Twitter and whatnot about what Diamond actually passed from. And there was talk that she might have passed from COVID, that she was hospitalized back in November of last year. And I didn't find any proof on that. I'm not saying she was. I didn't find any proof either way, because I checked out as much as I could. But Silk, or Rochelle Richardson, had a real problem with this, and she threatened to sue the people that said that. Not only that, but during this ceremony yesterday, she said people are dying left and right around here, and nobody's talking about it. And she was insinuating. She basically said, people, they shouldn't ask the question whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, but why are people dying? And then she brought up the fact that whenever people want to get rid of a certain animal or insect population, they'll infect one of them and then send them back to the hive or the group or the herd, and then it'll infect the other ones. She actually said this. And she was coming back with her anti-vaxxer nonsense again. She actually said this yesterday. She was insinuating that people are dropping it, not from COVID, but from getting protected from COVID. That's what she was saying. She said people are dropping left and right. The links will all be down below. I believe I've got the two vaccine. I got the two initial shots at the beginning, and I've lost track. I think I've had 3 boosters so far. And you guys see me every morning. You guys see me every 24 hours. You see me on here, and I am healthy as an ox. Oh yeah, and I'm going to be 57 next week. And Diamond was only 51. So yeah, everybody I know has been vaccinated. I haven't had one person drop like a fly. So I don't think there's any validity into what she's saying. All right, the links will all be down below. You guys have a great Sunday.